and then we will get started for you. Let's see. Oop. We do this every Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We go live for a live Q&A. So if you have any questions about Coturnix quail, whether it's raising or selling or hatching or whatever the case may be, feel free to ask, and we will do our very best to help you on your journey with Coturnix quail. And welcome everybody here. If you could real quick, let's see, Verna, if you could just let me know you can hear me all right. I'm having some difficulty on my end, but I think you guys should be fine. Just make sure you, yep, all right, wonderful. So welcome everybody, glad you're here. We do this every Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We do a live Q&A. And so if you have any questions about raising, selling, hatching, breeding, anything about Coturnix quail, feel free to ask. That is why we are here. We also do a couple fun things on Sundays if you want to be a part of that. Number one is obviously we support each other, so hit that like button and support the channel. That would be great. But if you want to let us know where you're from, it's always interesting to see where all the quail people are at in the world. And then if you've hatched any eggs from us in the past week, feel free to let me know if you have not already, and I will write that down for our records. And we will just get started here. So, Ba with Ba's in the house from Louisiana. Welcome. David Lister's in the house from Oklahoma. And David Lister and Shelly Lister sent me this cool little thing. Oh dear God. Hold on. It's right here. I can't turn it very well. Hopefully you guys can see that all right. It's really cool. They made like a little dinosaur thing. So they just sent that. I just got that in the mail yesterday, which is really cool. So David, if you could text me, I'll give you our thoughts on it and everything like that. But I thought that was super, super crafty and super cool. I bet you could sell a bunch of those. So my wife was very impressed as well. Laura's in the house from Montana. Welcome. Glad you're here. Vay's Place is obviously in the house. Ed Got Bait is a moderator with Vay's Place, but Ed Got Bait is under the weather, so he will not be on tonight. But thank you both for being a part of the moderation team. Stills and Squeals Barbecue's in the house. Welcome. It says day 2 of lockdown here in West Virginia, 38 of the 51 fertile, hoping for a good hatch rate. Well, good luck. Sounds like you're doing pretty well so far. Joy's in the house from Western Oregon. Welcome. We're glad you're here. Ann's in the house from Ohio. Welcome. David Lister says lockdown on Tuesday here in McAllister with 73 of our own eggs. Well, awesome. Well on your way. Congratulations and good luck. David from Florida is in the house. Welcome. William from Michigan is in the house. Glad you're here. Stills and Squeal says no, got them from a buddy of mine down the road. Oh, not somebody else's eggs. Hoping to get up to the Shire next weekend and get some jumbo browns so Zach Klaus pick up and have stock. Do not. We are way behind on pretty much everything right now, but we are not allowing any farm pickups or tours this year until QuailCon because of avian influenza. We actually just had a 7-hour meeting in Columbus last week about avian influenza, and they killed over 3 million chickens in, it was up north in Ohio. It was the weekend of QuailCon is when they killed them, actually. Anyways, the producer there, the guy that runs the hatchery, actually spoke as well and gave his point of view, you know. So we had vets and we had USDA and we had these people and those people all going over how last year went, what their projections are for this year, this, that, and the other. And then the producer got up and spoke for a while about his experience with it. So that was pretty cool. I'll be doing a video on that shortly. So because of that, we've shut it down until QuailCon. So only shipping. Ann's in the house. Welcome. Glad you're here. AJ is in the house. Hello. Don is in the house from Mississippi. Welcome. Tony from Toronto is in the house. Welcome. Glad you're here. James is in the house from Long Island, New York. Welcome. Glad you're here. FJ is in the house from Louisiana as well. Kenny in Pennsylvania is here. Welcome. Andrea Perry says hello. Our 3-week-old silvers are doing great and are so pretty. Yeah, I really do still love the silvers. The SSCs used to be my favorite color for a long time. And I mean, they're still great. It's just we've came out with some new colors that I really like. But yeah, the silvers are a lot of fun. Terry's in the house from North Carolina. Welcome. Glenn Wells is in the house. Says, howdy everyone from Southeast Missouri. On my last hatch, I got 23% hatch on day 16, 63% on day 17, finished with 14% on day 18. Are these the numbers what they should be? Still figuring this out. I don't think I've ever seen anybody do numbers like that before. I mean, you really just need to do your overall hatch and what percentage you got out of what you put in. But yeah, typically you want to see a small hatch on day 16, a big hatch on day 17, a decent hatch on day 18, and maybe a few stragglers on day 19 or 20. So you're kind of in that frame. Durlox Khan is in the house. Jumbo Brown's laying soft brown eggs. Any thoughts on why or how to fix it? Yeah, it's definitely a feed issue, most likely a calcium issue. Either they're not getting enough calcium in the feed, or not getting enough of it. So maybe get a different feed that has a higher calcium percentage. If you go to our YouTube channel and type in the search bar feed by Myshire Farm, we actually go through what our PhD doctor that specializes our feed, what she recommends on those things. I can't remember off the top of my head, but there's percentages that you want to be around in Coturnix quail. So you could definitely check that out. But 97% chance that it's a calcium issue. Sheila Rezo's in the house from Central Florida. Welcome, glad you're here. Stills and Squeal says, Zach, can I come to the Shire on a Saturday? And if so, will we have any Jumbo Browns next weekend? Nope, we will not. Everything's available on our website, and we are only shipping this year until QuailCon, unfortunately. Diana Tuttle's in the house from Kansas. Welcome, glad you're here. Durlox from South Carolina. Andrea Perry says, near Jacksonville. Welcome. Andrew's in North Carolina and Deborah's in Texas. Welcome both. Perlin Barker's in the house from Georgia. Good evening, everyone. Welcome. Kristen's in the house from Virginia. Got 59 fab feet on day 2 in the incubator. That's great. Congratulations. You still got probably a day or two left to get a couple stragglers, but sounds like you're doing great. Congratulations. Icy Quail, love the name, from Texas is in the house. Welcome. Tammy's asking a question about button quail. I don't know anything about button quail. They're kind of like ornamental quail. Don't know much about them. I've never raised them. George had them once on the farm, but I didn't pay any attention to them. I'm all about Coturnix here. So don't know much about button quail, unfortunately. Kenny's in the house from Pennsylvania. Welcome. Laura's in the house. I started with Coturnix quail in October of 2022. I've had my ups and downs with them, not sure on age, had Bumblefoot and my Roo not doing his job. Well, I mean, you could have bought older birds or things like that. Yeah, we've got a ton of videos. We've got over like 400 videos on our YouTube channel about how to raise them. And there's some tricks to the trade and things like that. And obviously there's some things that you have to go through and learn yourself and things like that. And, you need to make sure that you're, obviously Bumblefoot is an environmental issue with the cage flooring. The Roo not doing his job could be his age, or it could be lighting. They need 16 to 18 hours of light a day. Very short possibility that it could be a feed issue, but we've got a lot of videos. So if you have any questions that you come up with after the live or anything like that, if you have one now, feel free to ask. But if you have any questions after the live, you can always go to the YouTube search bar and just type in whatever your question is, like aggression by Myshire Farm, or, why are my quail not laying by Myshire Farm, or feed by Myshire Farm, whatever the case may be. Just type in your question and put by Myshire Farm, and 98% of the time you're going to get a good good video out of it. Kevin's in Texas, welcome. Steve is in Texas as well, in Houston. Ben is in the house from Idaho. We stopped the Texas trend for a second. Sundial Fragrance is in the house from Houston, Texas, so we're picking it back up, I guess. Tammy is in Florida and James in New York. Well, welcome both. Glad you're here. Mountaintop Living is in the house. Thanks for answering my email about incubators this week. Not a problem. Hopefully that helped, and good luck on your search. S.O. Swanson's in the house from Mississippi. Thought I'd come hang out. Well, welcome. We're glad you're here. Excuse me, I'll have to take a drink. John's in the house from Julian, Pennsylvania. Welcome. Laura said, I had 2 babies hatch out 9 weeks ago. The little roos started crowing at 5 weeks. I called both out the other day, found the hen had no start of producing eggs. Then most likely you've got a light issue. They need 16 to 18 hours of light a day. Usually they'll lay within 6 to 8 weeks. The more you control their environment, the sooner they'll start laying. And obviously you want to be on a layer feed at that time. Bob with Boz in the house says, lockdown 200 eggs, go on lockdown my own eggs. All birds will be sold as day olds. Well, awesome. Good luck, and I wish you all the best. All right, AJ's in the house. Says, hello, Zach. Thanks for taking time to help me identify the 2 quail I was having trouble with. It's real awesome. That one is the new amber feed color. Yeah, I really do love it. The pictures do not do it justice, but they are gorgeous. That is for sure. Durlock says, my quail eggs are from you. I'm at around 100 quail now and about to incubate 150 more within the next few days. It gets addicting, guys. Best of luck, and sounds like you're doing great. So congratulations. Foster Farms in the house from Tennessee. Welcome. Glad you're here. Laura's in the house. When I started hatching eggs, I was told to start with medicated game bird starter. Doesn't really matter. I was wondering if this started the problem or do I have a different problem going on? Medicated won't. I don't recommend. So there's 2 different types of medicated feed. There's a chemically medicated feed and then there's a natural medicated feed. I don't know the differences or what the chemicals are or anything like that. I'm not that advanced. But the chemically medicated feed I don't recommend. I don't like. We don't use that here. If it's the natural medicated, there's no issues with it. We use a naturally medicated starter grower. We do not use a medicated layer feed. But the starter grower is medicated, but it is natural, and that doesn't affect anything. William Burris is in the house. Says, question, after you populate breeder cage, approximately what percentage do you lose prematurely from all causes? Typically, it really depends on a lot of factors. Most of those factors are environmental. Most of those factors are, what's your setup, how much lighting, how much, control over the environment you have, how big the cages are, what your square footage is, how many quail per square foot, how many males per hen. I mean, there's a lot of factors that go into that. We've got cages that are 66 in a cage. And if I lose more than about 4 in a month in any given cage, then we're taking that cage very, very seriously. So that's our cutoff. But, we're replacing birds all the time, and usually we don't come anywhere close to that. But 4 is our moment where we go, something's going on here. AJ says, also just got my first quail eggs from my quail yesterday. Awesome. Congratulations. That is a huge accomplishment. So pat yourself on the back. You got them to laying age. So congratulations. Sundial Fragrance says, hit the like button, y'all. Absolutely. Support the channel by hitting the like button. Our goal tonight is to hit 100 likes. So I am trying my best to answer the questions for you. If you can hit that like button and support the channel, it is free and makes me feel good. I would appreciate it. Glenn Wells is not talking to me. Laura said they have light 24/7. That is also an issue. You don't want light 24/7. They really need a break. So 16 to 18 hours of light a day is very good. Your 2-year-old hens are, and also you've got an age issue. So you're going to lose a lot of fertility and a lot of egg laying production if the males are over 9 months old and the hens are over a year to year and a half old. So they need to be replaced in that time. Now, your 2-year-olds still might be laying eggs, but they're not going to be much longer, and not every quail is the same. Feather Connections is in the house. Hey, Feather Fan, question. I'm curious what the most popular versus the least popular varieties are this year. Obviously, jumbos are the most popular. There's not really a most popular and a least popular yet. It's only been 3 weeks in, and I'm pretty much out the same amount on the color side. I'm about 3 to 4 weeks out on all the colors. We've sold a ton of variety choice mixes, ton of the feather sexpool, sold a ton of. Okay, I'll just tell you what we haven't sold a ton of. Oh no, no, no. Probably the most popular color so far is scarlet and scarlet tuxedos. The most popular is probably Graufies. They're all really close together. Not enough time to be able to get those numbers. Arcturus, I hope I said that correctly. If I didn't, please correct me. Says hello from UK. I missed a few Sundays. Good to be back. Hope you all well. In UK at the moment, minus temperatures, but my quail are doing well. Awesome. I'm glad to hear that. Glad you're back, and thanks for being here. And good luck. And negative temperatures are never fun, that's for sure. Durlock says, when is QuailCon for this year? It's like the first weekend of September, I do believe. I don't remember the dates right now. I'm hoping starting in February that we'll be able to start putting that stuff together. But I haven't worked on that yet. I'm still working on 3 big projects. Well, yeah, I haven't announced the one. We just finalized the one, and I just got to put the video together. So yeah, I've been working on those, but those should be finishing up soon, and then I'll start on QuailCon. The Runner Bee is in the house, also from the UK. Very cool. Couple international. That's pretty fun. Welcome. Glad you're here. Oxford Prepping says hello all from Pennsylvania. I've had my worst hatch rate this go. Day 19 and only 3 out of 60 hatch day. Funny thing, I have chickens hatching 3 days early. Have 90 more ready to go into the incubator. 3 out of 60, I would almost guarantee that it's a temperature issue, especially with the temperatures outside. That's going to affect your incubator. I would highly recommend you, what's the word? Insulate your incubator with a blanket or a towel or something that will seal it in. That should help a little bit. But most likely with 3 out of 60, either your males aren't doing the job outside or your temperature's bad for right now. So I would take a look at that. And chicken eggs are majorly different than quail eggs. So quail eggs, you've got about a half a degree difference that you can be before it starts affecting the eggs. The chicken eggs, because they're so much larger, you have a lot more fluctuation with those. Could be that your temp's too hot. If your chicken eggs are hatching 3 days early, could be that they're too hot. I'd still look at the temp. Foster Farms is in the house. Welcome, glad you're here. Kathleen's in the house. I was wondering if you sell Celadon Coturning Quail. We do not. I wanted to work on jumbos last year and the beginning of this year, and then probably about mid-year is when we'll start on the Celadons again. I still have them. I just I kind of stopped working on them for a while, but yeah, we'll that's the plan, is to start working on them in about 4 months. Jesse Mills is in the house. Good evening, everyone. Finally on my way home from work. Well, be safe, and glad you're here. Ben Blunt is in the house. Button quail are small and only take as long as Coturnic's quail to hatch. There you go. Witch Doctor's in the house. Good evening, lovely family. Welcome. Glad you're here. I lost my spot. Bob with Bob says smoking some quail for dinner tonight. There you go. Durlock says, what is the calcium supposed to be at? What do you do about gay quail? Yeah, males will breed anything that's in that cage. Males will breed your hand if you want them to. So there's nothing you can do about that. 5 hens to every 1 male, 3 quail per square foot, and the rest will take care of itself. The calcium I don't remember off the top of my head, so you'd have to type in the search bar on YouTube, feed by Myshire Farm, and that video will show up. Steven's in the house from Missouri. Welcome, glad you're here. Actually, who just asked? Durlox, just 2 questions below you. Vay's Place actually put the link to that feed video in the comments. Foster Farm says, Zach, is a soft egg on occasion normal? Yeah, it's just, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say normal. No, it's not normal, but if it's mostly, it's a one-off. Like if your feed is okay, then, and you're getting a soft shell like once every 2 or 3 weeks or something like that, then yeah, that's not a big deal. They just didn't get the right nutrients in their feed that day. They'll be back at it tomorrow, not the end of the world. Redneck Wine Divas in the house from Texas. A lot of Texans here tonight. Welcome. Laura's in the house. I love your videos and I've learned so much because of them. Thank you for sharing them. Well, thanks for watching. I appreciate that. Psycho War 360's in the house. Says, Heidi ho, my quail neighbors. Well, welcome. We're glad you're here. Witch Doctor says, we're at the feed store picking stuff up. Well, there you go. Kathleen says, if we encounter an occasional soft egg, do we have to increase the amount of calcium that we give them? No, you do not. If it's occasional, then don't do anything. And this would probably be a good point to say, if there's something that's different, right? So if you're doing, let's say you're getting 10 eggs a day and they're all fine, right? And then you get a soft shell egg one day, and then you get a soft shell egg the next day, and then the next 8 days in a row, you get a normal egg again. The best thing to do is don't do anything for at least a week to 2 weeks. So if you see things, you write them down, you mark them down, you watch it, but you really want to let them handle it themselves. And if they can't, then you want to step in. But I see a lot of people try to overcompensate way too early, where it was just a one-off day, you know what I mean? And they're overcompensating, and then that affects the entire flock kind of thing. So, you definitely want to be careful with that. So now the only exception to that rule is obviously deaths. If you go out there and you see 2 dead one day and 3 dead the next, okay, now we need to do something immediately. But, if it's a lack of production in one day, or soft shell egg, or, whatever the case may be, if it's something that's not involving death of the quail, then let it ride and just track what's going on. And most of the time they'll fix it themselves. And most of the time when you try to fix it for them, you actually, it hurts more than it helps most of the time. So just keep that in mind as well. So that was a good question. Redneck Wine Diva says, my 7-year-old started laying Myshire babies, only 2, but I'll take it. There you go. That's awesome. Congratulations. And yeah, you guys are well on your way. And good luck. And it sounds like you're doing great. Chris Parrish Outdoors is in the house from Georgia. Glad you're back to weekly streams. Thank you very much. Hopefully my voice will get back to it shortly. But I'm glad I'm back. And we're getting back into a rhythm. I had all my meetings last week, which kind of took away from my YouTube videos, but hopefully I'll be able to get those under control this week, so we'll see how that goes. Carrot Top, I'm not going to say the numbers, I'm just going to say Carrot Top. Good evening from South Georgia. A lot of Georgians here tonight, too. As a commercial outfit, how do you dispose of the waste? Actually, if you go to our YouTube channel, type in Poop System by Myshire Farm, or you can go to the playlist called Tours, or you can go to the playlist called Pop of the Builder. We actually have a gutter system that goes into a septic tank, and they come get it about once every quarter and take it to Dublin, maybe? Way up north in Ohio, and it gets changed over into bioenergy, which is kind of cool. Kathleen's in the house from Southern California. Welcome. Kristen is in the house. The egg auctions will be back within the next 3 weeks or so, correct? I don't know. I do not know. I don't do auctions unless I'm caught up on eggs. I don't feel that it's right to do auctions and have people that are purchasing on our website be waiting. So I have to be completely caught up with those. So it's really a hard thing to predict because I just don't know who's going to buy and when. You know what I mean? Like, it'd be great if I could just have everybody sign up for like a subscription, you know, like I'll take 30 eggs a month, or I'll take 30 eggs every 3 months, or whatever. And then I could kind of project and track and say, okay, I know when I'm going to have some. But, you know, like yesterday, we had, here's a great example. So Thursday, I had 49 orders on the website on Thursday alone, right? It's quite a bit of orders for one day. On the next day, Friday, I had 4 orders. Now that's really low, and there's a huge gap there, right? I actually sold more eggs on Friday than I did Thursday, because Friday, 2 of those orders were over 2,000 eggs each on the website. So, you know what I mean? It's really hard to predict. So I really don't know. I'd love to do it again, but I got to make sure I take care of our website customers first. It's a great question. I just don't have a good answer for you, unfortunately. Cheryl, Kentucky Girl is in the house. Is there any advantage, disadvantage for not supplementing light during winter to allow hens to rest for laying? Well, you're not going to get egg production. So if you don't use light, the disadvantage is you're not going to have eggs. If you do use light, you're going to get legs throughout the year. If you do use light, they'll typically lay on average about 1.5 to 2 years for you straight. If you use light all year long, 16 to 18 hours. If you take their light out or take their light off during the winter months and they don't lay during the winter months, they'll typically lay for about 2.5 years. So you'll extend their production lifespan, so they'll lay for longer, but not consistently. So those are the things that you'd want to think about and decide what works best for you. Immaculate Tins now says, question, how old does a quail have to be put on 1 inch by 1/2 inch wire? 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch is a week, so 1 inch by 1/2 inch, 3 weeks. 3 weeks and they'd be fine. False Farm says, can we use... Ooh. Hold on just a second, guys. I'm sorry. Got dizzy for a second. Can we use a little pulverized lime in their feed to add in some calcium? I've never tried that. In fact, I don't know anything about it. I do not know. I don't even want to give you my thoughts on that because it would just be an uneducated opinion. I do not know. Nope, I'm not even going to try because I'm going to talk myself into a corner. I do not know that answer, I'm sorry. And I don't want to give you the wrong information. Kathleen says, okay, thanks. Oh, you're not talking to me. Rohan Edward is in the house. Hi, here from St. Lucia in the Caribbean. I'm so grateful for your live. Learned a lot. I'm up to 60 plus quail now. Awesome, congratulations. Browns, English whites, Tibetan silvers, pandas. I'm trying to breed by color. I want to say thanks again. Well, it sounds like you're doing fantastic. So congratulations and keep up the hard work. You're doing great. Freezer is in the house. Welcome. Glad you're here. Renee is in the house from South Central Indiana. Welcome. Glad you're here. I lost my spot and then a lot of people were not talking to me. So oh, here we go. Got it. Kenny says, do you ship live bird chicks? We do not ship quail chicks. They are way too heat dependent, way too small. A lot of hatcheries ship the chicken chicks, but you got to remember that chicken chicks are 3 times larger than a quail chick. So there's a big difference there. You know what I mean? We do ship live birds. They should be back on the website. Fingers crossed, knock on wood, January 31st is our goal with that. We might be a few days late, but we're getting pretty close to being able to do that. So they're on the website. It just says out of stock right now. Sorry, I got a message and I read it. I hate when I do that. So they say out of stock now, but they should be back on the website in about, we'll say 2 weeks, but it should be a little less than that. Foster Farm says, I have to give a shout out to my quail ladies. They keep laying even though the puppies are terrorizing them by looking in the cages all the time. LOL. Yeah, they're not really, as long as they're in cages and they're familiar with their territory, they really don't get too involved with with the dogs or anything like that. They don't care too much. When we take the quail outside for like pictures, which I don't do very often, but when we do that, I've got 4 Great Danes, and they just come over there, and the quail are like, what, you know what I mean? But again, I could walk in between their cage to collect eggs and freak some out, and they hit their head and die. So it's like, dude, pick one way or the other. Either don't be fearless or be fearful. Like I don't know what to tell you. S.O. Swanson says 223 days till QuailCon on 9/2 Labor Day weekend. That is terrifying. But yes, there you go. 223 days till QuailCon. The Gunners M8 says when breeding back silvers to wild, does it matter if either male or female? When breeding back silvers to wild, I mean, you're going to get a better variety if you put the wild male over multiple silver hens. You're going to get a better variety that way. But either one doesn't really matter. If I had to pick, I'd use the wild male. But again, we're kind of picking hairs. Redneck Wine Diva says, ended up with 2 Scarlet Tuxes, and man, are they gorgeous. Yeah, I really do like them a lot too. And those, by far, they have sold more than anything else this year so far. Feather Connection says, as far as the answer to my question on most versus least popular, I think that's amazing. You're booked out that far, well deserved. Thank you very much. And I'm not too happy about it, but the good news is we've got more laying birds right now than we've ever had before. And next week, George and I have to go through 3,000. Yep, I'm going to say that again. Next week, starting tomorrow, we're going through 3,000 grow outs to put into breeder cages. So currently, on the website, it says 3 to 4 weeks out on the colors. Hopefully that's going to drop down very, very quickly because we're going to be getting a lot more eggs. We currently have more birds in the barn than we have ever had before by over 1,500. So that's exciting and terrifying and exhausting and scary all at the same time. And man, does my feed bill feel it. My feed bill is ridiculous right now. Jerry is in the house. Welcome, glad you're here. Oxford Prepping says, thanks, Zach. New gobies arrived today. Awesome, good luck, and yeah, I really enjoy ours. Renee Fowler says, yes, I'm excited to hear that you will be selling Celadons this year. I don't know if we'll be selling them this year. We're going to start working on them, but I am very particular. We do not put anything out until I am happy about it and are happy to put our name behind it. So it'll probably be next year, but we will start working on that. Marty S. is in the house, says, hi, Zach from Michigan. Welcome, we're glad you're here. Ooh. Sundial Fragrance says, is there any chance you'll sell Celadons this year? A small chance, probably not. I think it's going to take me over 6 months to get them to what I want. But it all depends on how, we know exactly how we want to breed them. We know exactly what we need to do. It just, is there going to be any problems that show up? Because there's sometimes where it goes perfectly and you go, why was that so smooth? Like, why did that take us the exact time we thought? And then there's other times where it takes you 3 times longer and you're like, okay, I've been working on this for 1.5 years and I'm still not where I thought I'd be. So it's just hard to say. Jerry says, my first order from you should ship this week with the 3 to 4 week ship. Would it be safe to order my next set of eggs? I would wait until you get a tracking number. Once you get a tracking number is when I would put it in, just to be safe. just to be safe. But we'll send you a tracking number the day before we ship. Um, Ashley says, Jerry, I wonder this as well as far as shipping and out dates. Yeah, so like for example, I'm keeping up on it daily. So the colors are everything's 3 to 4 weeks out. That is actually how far we are out right now. But like I said, we're putting a lot of breeders into production this week. So those numbers are going to change dramatically. But I did not want to count my projections on what's not in the cages right now. You know what I mean? Like, what if they don't make weight? What if we don't like the color? What if whatever the case may be? You know what I mean? So that scared me. So that 3 to 4 weeks could easily change into 1 week. You know what I mean? Now, I do have a corporate account that needs a couple thousand eggs. So if I do get really caught up, I'll probably get that out before I change the 3 to 4 week mark. And the same thing with the jumbos. The jumbos are very far out, but that is just what we have now. Again, out of those 3,000 breeders, you know, over half of those are jumbos. So that means, you know, the actual wait time on my jumbos is correct right now, but by next week, or, you know, it'll take some time to get them to start laying because we're moving them, this, that, and the other. But within a few weeks, that number could be shot in a third. You know what I mean? So just to be safe, I would wait until you get a tracking number, and then you don't have to worry about it. Priske says, I recommend my coworker check out your channel. He is interested in quail. Thanks for all the educational videos you do and the lives. Well, thank you very much, and hopefully he checks it out. And I appreciate the help, and I'm glad you watched. Thank you. Glad it could help. Jody's in the house. Do you expect donations? I've started making a bit of money off my quail and I've learned everything from you. I would like to give back. We will be doing donation. I mean, anybody that donates to the channel now, you know, obviously we put it right back into the channel for good purposes, whether it's, you know, better video quality or whatever the case may be. But once we announce QuailCon, we will be taking donations for that. That is what we would be taking donations for, because it costs a lot. You would be very, very surprised on how much it costs to host QuailCon every year here, even though it's our property. It's the tents, it's the vendors, it's the speakers, it's the, you know, food, it's the this, it's the, I mean, it adds up, especially when you have 300-400 people here at one time for multiple days. So it's very expensive, but I do try to keep the tickets as low as possible as far as purchasing them, so that anybody and everybody can afford to come. And so we do take donations for that, so that we can lower the price of the tickets. So so that's what I would recommend. That was a long answer. Dennis is in the house getting back into it from Fall River, Massachusetts. Well, welcome and good luck on your journey. Jerry Collis says, looking at my second set, be about 220 eggs. We're here for you, and hopefully all these breeders work out. We are going to be a little particular and picky. So out of all those that we're going to go through, you know, obviously we won't use them all. And then, you know, assuming half are males, but that's still a lot to go through. So we'll see how it goes, but we're here for you. Sundial Fragrance says, if I breed jumbo male with standard female, what chances do I have to increase the size? You do have a chance to increase the size, but just be aware that it is much, much easier to lose weight than it is to gain weight. Make sure that you're using, you know, larger males. You want to use larger males against your smaller females to try to increase that size. And then use the biggest out of the biggest and have a routine down and things like that. But you know, if you get out of rhythm, or if you put the wrong things in the wrong things one time, you know, you can lose weight instantly, and it takes a couple generations to start gaining weight. So just be prepared for that. Freezer's in the house from Lexington, Massachusetts. Welcome. Redneck Wine Diva says, I sent in a video, I believe, to your wife of one of my baby that ended up blind. She is thriving amazing, so will be living their best life as a pet. I don't have the heart to call it just yet. There you go. Very cool. Not sure why she ended up blind. I'd have to look at the video and see everything. Marty says I ordered Friday. We'll get those out as soon as possible. It probably will take a couple weeks though. Jerry says this will be my first time hatching my own eggs. I was getting week-old from a local breeder. Well, congratulations. That's very exciting and well on your way. Good luck. Redneck Wine Diva says you sound stuffy. Sinus will cause dizziness. No, I'm doing all right. My throat is scratchy and weird, but I'm feeling pretty good. Ben says this is Kylie Blunt, and I was wondering what would be the best breed to start out with quail. Actually, the last video I did is what I would recommend to watch. I give you a breakdown on the differences between colors and jumbos, what the differences are, what to think about, and what would work best for you. Because I think I think you need to individualize that for your own needs. And it's not a straightforward answer. So the last video I did, I would recommend watching. It's just a few minutes long, but I think it would be very informative for you. Ernst is in the house from Haiti. Welcome. We're glad you're here. Rohan, it says, is a 50-pound feed per week good food management for 62 quail on average? You would have to do the math. I do. Again, you can go to our YouTube channel and type in the search bar quail math by Myshire Farm. I give you the formula to use to figure out how much quail or how much each quail eats per day and how much feed goes into one egg. But I don't know the numbers off the top of my head. But quail math by Myshire Farm, and you can get those figures. Oh. Ball with Boss says just sent 200 BTA eggs from Myshire Birds. Got them from Aaron. Very cool. Congratulations and good luck. Oxford says had a nice meal of stuffed bacon wrapped quail tonight. That sounds delicious. I have not eaten dinner yet, but that sounds awesome. Jerry says I raised 500 last year, so this year doing it all on my own. There you go. Good luck. Buster says hi to all. Well, welcome. Glad you're here. Most will be for fellow falconers and for myself, both meat and hawk food, Jerry. Well, good luck. I do have a very massive falconer order that I've got to put together, so I want the least amount of males as possible out of all these grow outs that I'm going to be going through this week, but I wouldn't be sad if half of them were males either, because that still doesn't get me to where I need to be for this falconer order. So good luck on that. Priske says, with the SSC silver quail, what is the best practice for breeding them when they are old enough? I thought I remembered something about the genetics can toss fatal combo. Yeah, I mean, it can. You can put SSC to SSC together for a couple generations with no issues. But the best thing to do is just put different males in with the SSCs. So, if you've got a colony cage of 30 SSCs, you can put 7 or 8 males in there. Tibetan, Pharaoh, gold, whatever, just different colored males with the SSC hens, and they'll throw you a bunch of cool SSC colors. Redneck Wine Diva says, well, that's a lot of birds, Zach. I won't complain about feeding 60. LOL. There you go. We've got more than we've ever had, but we're still way behind on orders, so here we go. Jennifer says, do I need jumbo wild and jumbo Egyptian to get sex links? You do need wilds and Egyptians to get sex links, yes. Both of those would come in the feather sexable or the jumbo mix. The feather sexable mix or the jumbo mix, both of those would come in those. Yeah, you need Egyptian males. Oh, nope. Why can I not think right? Yes. Yes. You need Egyptian males. Yes. You need Egyptian males over wilds. Or you could use autumn ambers over golds, or you could use Egyptian fees over fab fees. But yeah, traditionally it's the Egyptian males over the wild hens. Marty says, is there a particular spectrum type of light you recommend for 100% indoor birds? No, not really. They don't really care. We use full spectrum. but we've used daylight in the time. I don't see a big difference. A lot of people use just like Christmas lights, and they have no issues. So no, not really. Just lighting. The lighting is enough. Ruby says, "Hi Zach, for starting up with quail, what do you think about starting up with a grown flock to get used to caring for them before getting into the incubation process?" I think that's fine. We go into that. I've got a playlist on our YouTube channel called New to Quail and What You Need to Know. And I think one of the videos, I was trying to be cute, and it's titled like, did the quail or the egg come first or something like that? And that goes into the thought processes and advantages versus disadvantages of starting with live quail versus hatching eggs, or starting with chicks versus adults, or starting with adults versus hatching eggs, or whatever. And it goes through the thought process that, what would work best for you. For me, what would work best for me would be hatching eggs, but that's not for everybody. So you could watch that video and at least get the thought process, decide what would work best for you. Petamal Farm says, get better. Sorry you're not 100%. I'm doing okay. I just sound awful. I don't know what my problem is. Renee says, Zach, could you please talk about nutrition needs of the different ages? Is there a recipe that you have heard of that you like for small homesteaders? Again, I'm going to go back to what I recommend as far as the Feed by Myshire Farm YouTube video. That will give you all the nutrition that you need. We talk about, there's only two things you need. You need a starter grower, and then you need a layer feed. And we go in depth about both of those. And then I also show you the label of what we feed and what we customize and all of that. So that's what I would recommend checking out, because I don't know the numbers off the top of my head. Steve says, how big does the male jumbo wild get, and what do you look for in a male for breeding purposes? We've got a YouTube channel, our YouTube playlist. I don't know, remember what it's called. It's like the jumbo process or something like that. But it goes week to week. I do a short video week to week on that playlist showing you the average weights of jumbos, what we use, what we look for, and everything like that. We weigh ours at 8 weeks old. They have to be at least 12 ounces for the males. They have to be larger for the females. They have to have good bone structure, good feet, good beak, no deformities, and they have to be consistent. So we start weighing at week 2, and so the bottom 10% every week do not go into the breeding program, get called immediately, because they need to stay consistent. So I don't want, a jumbo 2-week-old that's 1 ounce and the rest of them are 4 ounces, and then that 1-week-old somehow catches up to the rest of them at 8 weeks. I don't want that one. I don't want that one at all. So, consistency is key as well. But that video, or that playlist, actually will give you a lot of good information as far as breeding goes. Vicente says, I received my order yesterday. Today I put it into incubator. Awesome. Good luck, and I wish you all the best. I'm sure you will do great, but obviously keep me posted. God P is in the house, says, hi all. Welcome. Glad you're here. William says, question, do you quail need any vaccinations? No, they do not need any vaccinations, and we do not vaccine anything. Mark is in the house from Serbia. Very cool. Welcome. We're glad you're here. Ashley Rose is in the house. Welcome. You had peace. That's so sad. My neighbor dog killed 6 of my 5-month hens. I'm sorry to hear that. Hopefully it gets worked out. Kenny says, when we sell breeding pair, can you mix and match, or does it have to be the same color? As far as our live birds that we ship out, they're all mixed. The descriptions and everything are like on there, and it's different varieties that you can, or different quantities that you can choose from. But they're all standards. We don't ship jumbos. That's a bad idea. Shipping jumbo live quail, it's a very bad idea. And then it's just a bunch of different colors, and then obviously we make sure you get the right amount of males and females. Why does it keep doing that? Well, happy birthday, Yud P. Sorry it's not starting off great, but hopefully it's got to get better, right? Marty says, I'm building a Dale's quail type brooder now because a wise old dude once said, why buy something for $1 when you can build it for $3? There you go. That sounds like Pop the Builder. Dennis says, hi, back at... Why does it keep doing that? Oh, not talking to me. Little Ridge Farms in the house. Welcome. Glad you're here. Panama Farm says, don't forget the like. Yeah, if we could try to hit 100 likes, we're currently at 69. If you could help support the channel by trying to get us to 100, I'd greatly appreciate it. It helps the channel grow and makes me feel better. Jerry says, with Tibetan and range, what other would you add in for color? Something light. Pearl, pansy fee, Egyptian fee, amber fee. Obviously fee. I like fee a lot. Golds would be cool. I would go with a fee. I'd go with I'd go with Egyptian fee. I'd go with Egyptian fee if I was you. I like the Egyptian fee. They're big, they lay great, they're feather sexable, they're gorgeous, and they're kind of like the new and improved fab fees. So I really like the Egyptian fees a lot. Aaron is in the house from South Louisiana. Welcome, we're glad you're here. Yud P says, at what weeks you put the roos into the grow out cage? We put all of our grow outs into the main barn into cages at 3 weeks old, unless it's really bad weather. So like, we've had a cold snap here, so they stayed in the brooder for an extra week. So 3 to 4 weeks is when we put them into the grow out cages. And then they have to be at least 8 weeks before we put them into the breeder cages, depending on if it's a jumbo or standard. James is in the house from Massachusetts. Welcome, glad you're here. Or is that Mississippi? MA is in Mississippi. I'm sorry, James. Foster Farm says, hey, Zach, how do you keep folk from coming to the farm without offending them? We have had people just show up to buy quail via word of mouth, but we don't want folks here due to AI worries. Be careful. Being careful. Yeah, same thing here. We've had a couple people try to show up, and we just have to turn them away. Number one, we don't have the product because it's first come, first serve. And obviously people that buy first get it, so we don't have anything to offer anyway. But if anybody shows up, we just explain that we've shut down the farm for tours and pickups due to avian influenza, and we do not want it here. And there's a lot of horror stories, and we just got to be safe. And then anybody that asks, I just explain it like, hey, I'm not. Hopefully you understand. If you don't, you don't. But I got to keep my livelihood safe, and I don't want to risk it. And I'd be really upset if I did something that caused bad things. Mitchell, I don't know why it keeps doing that. It's really starting to upset me. Mitchell says, had a chick with splay leg, hobbled them, and they seem to be walking all right now, but they are significantly behind in growth. I only have 25 chicks. Call them or let them try and catch up. Well, splay leg's an environmental thing, so you want to make sure that your incubator and your brooder is not slippery at all. You want to make sure you're not using regular paper towels. You're using blue paper towels or something where they can't get slippery because of the humidity. It can get very wet and moisture in there and get very slippery in there. So you can fix that going forward. And I mean, it's not a genetic thing, it's an environmental thing, so they should be able to catch up. So I try to get them to catch up. James says, I'm doing good. My quail are laying better than my chickens. There you go. I love to hear that. Steve says, is it best to use a big Egyptian male or jumbo wild male for jumbo wild breeding program? What? Is it best to use a big Egyptian male or a jumbo wild male for a jumbo wild breeding program? Jumbo wild? Jumbo wild. Karim says how much it takes for quail to start laying again after changing the environment. Usually it's about 2 weeks. Usually they'll be angry for about 2 weeks, and then they'll pick it back up once things are normal again. North Georgia Quail says, I have some golds from Myshire, and one of the hens laid a huge egg, looks about the size of a small chicken egg. There you go. Hopefully she can tone that down a little. James says, gave a guy that lives about 5 miles from me 5 dozen quail eggs to hatch out. We're working on a brooder system. I'll get least half back. There you go. That's great. Congratulations and good luck. Hopefully it works out. Susan says, 12 out of 20 you hatched on New Year's Day from the goldens I got from you. 11 very healthy, 1 a day and a half later, but didn't make it. They are very friendly and so pretty. Wonderful to hear. Congratulations. And good luck with all of them. Little Ridge Farm says, we are doing okay. Still a long way to go, raising money to rebuild and have a home again. They did have a fire. It was Thanksgiving or Christmas sometime. They had a fire and had to rebuild, which we had the same thing here many years ago. And it is very devastating. It takes a long time to rebuild for sure. James is in the house from Mississippi. I got it. I corrected it, I think. Diana Tuttle says, wish I could hit the like button more than once. Love the info with Zach and everyone. Well, thanks very much. I appreciate that. Get P says, well, great stream, Zach. I'm heading out by you. Thanks for showing up. I appreciate it. And that looks like all the questions tonight, everybody. So I appreciate all the good questions. Thanks for everybody showing up. I do have some really good videos coming for you. Unfortunately, I just got to find the time to do them, but I really do think it's going to help a lot of people out there on their adventure with Coturnix quail. So bear with me, be patient with me, and stay tuned because we have a lot of good stuff coming your way. And as always, I'll be back next Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for another live Q&A. And remember, if you have any questions throughout the week, you can always go to YouTube, go into the search bar, type in your question, and just put in "by Myshire Farm," and most likely I've done a video on it, and that will help a lot. So good luck with that. And if you have any questions, obviously my phone number, you can text me. My phone number's on the website and all that jazz. And good luck to everybody for the week on your adventure with Coturnix quail and life in general. So I wish you all the best, and stay safe out there, and we'll see you next week. Thanks, everybody. Have a great night.